Just bring me some cereal.
That cereal is full of unhealthy ingredients. I threw it away.
Don't throw away my stuff.
Frank, that cereal is for children. Enjoy this grapefruit.
You're for children, stupid.
It's not really showbiz to say this. It really is a feel-good family movie in the old-fashioned sense.
I mean, that's probably the movie's charm, is it in a way takes a relationship with a robot for the family to understand what they're missing.
Would you like me to bring in your bags, Madison?
No. No, thank you.
Let the robot get your damn bags, honey.
Daddy, that's why I'm here. I thought about what you said, and I'm going to stay with you.
What? What did I say?
I'm saving you. I think Frank does a really beautiful job of it, is that you want to be able to be on your own and still living your life the way you have always lived it, but you kind of can't, and you need support. And a lot of people don't have that support or don't want to admit that they need help, so cue the robot.
Why don't you go on inside, tidy up, and cook us whatever food you can find.
Okay, Hunter. Good to meet you, Frank. I like your house.
That thing is going to murder me in my sleep.
Hi, we are 5 Under Par Consulting, and we will be presenting today about the social viability of the humanoid robots and how we feel like that fits into our healthcare system today within healthcare, within health homes and rehab facilities and other places within the healthcare. Just to introduce ourselves, my name is Rachel Clark. I am a business management major at Utah Valley University. I currently work at Alliance Health as a team lead and sales rep where I sell diabetic supplies.
Hi, I'm Cameron Bean. I'm an automotive technology student and I am working towards my technology management degree. And my favorite sport is baseball and I love the Dodgers.
Hi, my name is Abdurrahman Ashamari. My major is community health service administration. I'm an international student at UVU and this is my last year to graduate. My nationality is Saudi Arabia.
Hi, my name is Jameis O'Brien. I'm a current student at UVU studying technology management. I'm an entrepreneur and have been involved in philanthropic efforts.
Hi, I'm Sheila Griffin, and I'm a business management major with a minor in digital media. And I'm here at UVU, and I have worked for a merchandising company for 19 years, and I've been married 32 years. So with the research that we have done and the facilities that we have participated in visiting, the problem statement that we've come up with, the question is the humanoid service robot a feasible and acceptable tool within the healthcare and rehab industry? So our 3 key issues that we were asking is the first one is AI robots' cognitive ability and our robotics' physical dexterity and the employee collaboration. And now I'm going to turn the time over to Jameson, and he's going to talk about our first key issue.
Thank you, Sheila. As we were meeting with these healthcare and rehab groups, one of the things we realized is that nobody had confidence that a robot had the ability to reason and assess a situation. It lacked the overall cognitive ability to function at their workplace. Rather than seeing that as a problem and running away from it, we decided that a robot and AI technology needed to develop further the ability to communicate and assess and be able to respond to the situation. That's the first part of our analysis. The second is once it can assess, it needs to be able to respond. And there are certain boundaries in these environments, regulations, laws, policies, and procedures that the robot needs to be able to function in. I'll let Cameron now share with you our second key issue.
Awesome. Thank you, Jameis. All right, so our second key issue we identified after interviewing our different facilities is that robots need to acquire some form of physical dexterity. We know that patients can be very sensitive to physical touch, so the robots need to be sensitive to the patient's range of motion, the human touch factor, being able to soothe the patient when they're in pain. And the robot also needs to have flexible abilities so they don't feel stiff and the patients can feel a little more comfortable and won't be feeling like they're being jerked around. And now we'll have our third key issue discussed by Abdul.
Thank you, Cameron. And the third key issue is employee collaboration, communication between robots and employee, and the employee education, and the emotional response of the robot. And I will turn the time over to Sheila to share the solution statement.
Thank you, Abdul. So what we decided, like we had mentioned, the visits that we have made and the people that we've talked to administrators that we have spoke with, we've our solution statement is healthcare and rehab industries have a healthy appetite for technology. These industries have an interest in AI and robotics and have experienced some implementations. In order to adapt a service robot, the robot will need to be able to reason, to understand patients, employees, and the environment, and have the physical abilities to perform these treatments. So along with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Jameson, and he will discuss the first solution.
Thank you, Sheila. Let's talk a little bit about what it would look like having a robot come into your room if you're a patient. The robot needs to be able to communicate with you and find out your health status. It needs to be able to assess the situation. It needs to be able to communicate and diagnose your needs. It also could recall and use the patient history to make proper diagnosis and help and communicate with the patient. I'll now let Cameron talk about implementation of second key issue.
All right, thank you, Jameis. All right, on to our second key issue of physical dexterity for our problem solutions. One thing we identified, again, is that these robots need the ability to perform tasks so that they can be assessed by the medical professionals, making sure the robots are, performing the tasks they're designed for. So a way of recording that would be necessary. Administering treatments to patients with or without the supervision of nurses, and then reassess patient and environment. So being able to help a patient up a stairs, or if they've fallen, being able to lift them back up. And then another big issue that we have discovered is sanitation. That'll perhaps be the biggest issue as far as implementing an android or humanoid robot into the healthcare industry, because sanitation is the biggest concern among healthcare professionals, and keeping patients healthy. Definitely have to keep those robots sanitized, and so they can continue to handle and help our patients. And now I'll turn the time back over to Abdul.
Thank you, Cameron. Problem solution 3 is about the employee collaboration. The first point is receive orders or take initiative. Second point is about communication. And the third point is employee education of special robot. And now I will turn the time over to Rachel.
Thank you, Abdul. So as we have researched and as we have studied and gone from visiting multiple facilities in healthcare, we have come to the conclusion that our success prediction would not be likely. In talking with Chance at Stonehenge and other facility directors, they talked a lot about how they don't feel like this would be implemented in, especially with their patients. Jenny at Canterbury talked about how patients can leave and they can go and come however often they want to, and they couldn't forcibly hold them. And that has to do with human rights, and they didn't feel very confident in having their patients be dealt with robots who cannot cognitively think for themselves. So, like we said, we've come to it as not likely to be implemented into working with patients specifically, maybe within employees. The current robotic and AI technology is a very task-based or supports employees as a tool. The idea of a robot that can reason and perform highly skilled physical activities was seen as exciting, yes, yet very distant within the healthcare. And there's a quote from Gross in lecture notes in computer science. It talks about how they're optimistic that a robot coach could bridge the gap between the therapeutic assisted training and independent self-training in the clinic and training at home. We just feel like it may not be time yet. For resources, though, a financial outlook, the capital markets are already backing robotics into healthcare. It would still be very expensive, but there is capital available. And then HR outlook, there's lots of organizations currently exist with AI and robotics markets. And the market outlook, we feel like there's billions of opportunities to be able to have grown in the next 20 years, but our healthcare facilities just talked about how they didn't feel like it was needed right now. And now I will turn the time back over to Sheila to talk about the potential pitfalls with this.
Hey, thank you, Rachel. So some of the potential pitfalls that we feel that are important to address is the human rights are being violated, and then human enhancement technology legislation, and service robots are mainly cost prohibitive to general public currently, and disruptive technologies or medical advances. Robots will not be able to provide the emotional support patients require, and accountability is that the robot or the employee. So from this point, we're going to turn the time over to Jameson, and he's going to further discuss these areas.
Thank you, Sheila. By way of providing additional options or the ability to implement these cognitive and physical products, we have a few suggestions. The first is to compartmentalize these technologies and use them in current marketable product. And then over time, as you have these compartmentalized technologies, you could combine them into a service robot. Our suggestion is to compartmentalize and implement these technologies incrementally until we have enough that they could be combined into a service robot with complete cognitive abilities and physical dexterity. We'll now turn the time over to Abdul for the final suggestion.
Thank you, James. Our final suggestion is to focus on development of cognitive AI abilities and robotic dexterity into current marketable products. And the other point is to focus on a scalable solution that have application across multiple industries. And now I will turn the time to Cameron to talk about the summary.
All right, thank you, Abdul. All right, now the frantic foot race to stay relevant has been going on for decades. We have become accustomed to change, but fear not. Education always trails behind innovation. And let's look past robots. Human knowledge and implementation are moving fast. Will we cure paralysis before robotic exoskeletons become mainstream? For now, there are gaps to be filled and opportunities to be had. Can service robots be of use to our human family? Only time will tell. And now for Rachel to tie it all up.
Thanks, Cameron. So as you can see, just about the different things we've talked about, I think we can come to the conclusion that there's still a lot of things that need to be developed within the healthcare and also in technology. But we appreciate the time that you've given us. We hope this is helpful to you. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us. As you can see, we also have the cost of us working with you and are just grateful for the opportunity we've had to do this research and to work with so many wonderful people within the healthcare facility. We look forward to working with you further. Thank you.